Okay, guys, we're back with Chapter 5, Lily to the Rescue by Bruce Cameron. And has nice illustrations by, I saw her name somewhere, Jennifer L. Meyer. Chapter 5. The next time I saw that bird, he had a name and an outfit. Maggie Rose and I went into work a few days after I'd met the crow at the dog park. I smelled him right away, and Maggie Rose called out to him. "Good morning, Casey," she sang. "How's your wing today?" Casey lived in a big wire cage with seeds on the floor and a stick he could hop on, sort of like a tree but with no leaves. He did not have a blanket to sleep on, which might be why I never saw him lying down. "Mom," Maggie Rose asked, "when will Casey be able to fly again?" When she asked this question, Maggie Rose had been training me to do roll over. Roll over is a complicated trick where a dog lies down on her stomach as if to take a nap like old Brewster, and then she lies on her back as if to get a tummy rub, and then she flops to the other side. I thought it was pretty pointless, but when I did roll over, Maggie Rose gave me a turkey treat. I will do pretty much anything for turkey, pointless or not. Mom was carrying a cat who had just arrived the day before. The cat was purring, which is what cats do instead of barking. "Well, honey," Mom said, "we'll have to see if the operation was successful. If it was, then there's no reason why Casey shouldn't fly again. But we had to deal with some pretty deep cuts. We'll just have to wait." I could feel that Maggie Rose was sad, so I went to comfort her by doing roll over without even being asked. For some reason, there was no turkey for this. With people, the rules change all the time. Casey's outfit was a white coat that he wore on the wing that he'd been dragging. It smelled like cloth and a little bit like a strong chemical. His other wing still fluttered and stuck out, but he seemed to like wearing his new coat so much that he never moved that wing at all. He let me sniff the coat, but I honestly didn't find it very interesting. Casey and I were becoming good friends. I would visit him by going to his cage and sticking my nose against the wires every day. Casey would hop over to greet me. One day I noticed Casey watching Mom as she opened the cage door to put seeds in a bowl for him. After Mom had left, Casey went to the door of his cage and began pecking at it with his black beak. With a little bit of rattle, the door swung open. Casey hopped out. I bowed and wagged and jumped around in excitement as Casey hopped along the floor between the stacks of cages, saying hello to all the animals. Casey was happy to see Brewster, who actually roused himself from a nap to wander over and sniff Casey from the other side of his gate. But Casey was far more interested in the kittens than anything else. He hopped up from one cage to another on the stack until he was off the floor, out of my reach, standing on top of an empty cage so that he could look right into one of the three little kittens inside. The kittens tried to reach out to play with Casey. They would stick their soft little paws between the wires to bat at him, but Casey was not interested in having them pet him on the head like a person would pet a dog. Casey seemed to understand that kittens are not dogs, which is good information to have. A dog knows how to play by chewing very gently on a playmate, but kittens play with their claws. Sometimes they can accidentally hurt you. Adult cats are even more iffy when it comes to playing. Some of them like dogs and some of them despise dogs. This makes no sense because dogs are wonderful. But it is true, just like it's true that you should not sit in the dog park water bowl. Casey was showing the proper amount of caution around the kittens, I felt. When he made his way back down, one wing fluttering, he jumped right up on my back for a dog ride. I walked him around the room so he could see everything there was to see. At first, it felt very strange to have a big black bird on my back, his tiny feet gripping my fur, but soon it started to feel ordinary. Casey liked to be up there. I think it made him feel safe, and I liked to have him up there because it was a completely new way of playing with another animal. After taking a tour of all the cages, Casey hopped back up into his cage, and then reaching out with his beak, he pulled the door to his cage shut. I was very impressed. We did this every day that I went to work. Most days I was at work because Mom or Dad had said the word school, and that meant Maggie Rose was gone for some time. Other days, though, the best days, were when Maggie Rose came to work with me. She would play with the kittens, she would play with Brewster, she would play with any puppies, and she would even reach her hand into Casey's cage. and he would hop onto her wrist and she would pull him out and talk to him. One day, Mom came into the room while Maggie Rose was holding Casey. "Mom," Maggie Rose asked, "how is Casey's wing doing? Is it going to heal okay?" "Well," Mom said, "we'll take his bandage off in another few days and then we'll see." "What will happen if the wing didn't get fixed?"